Have I got a SAAB story for you guys? Ha ha ha. Let's get started. Ah, crap! Ah!
Wizard, what are you doing?
Sorry. It's just that I got the estimate together on this car, and it's as much as he paid for it. He paid $3,200 for this car. It only has 130 or 40,000 miles on it. It is a 2002 SAAB 9.3 SE. It is in very, very good shape. He's always wanted one of these, which is Bill, the guy that owns the Lotus Esprit Turbo S4S. You guys have seen it here, the black one. He has a 993, has a Triumph TR8, a whole bunch of really cool cars. He just bought this one and he brought it in for some repairs. Like I said, he paid $3,200 for the car. I found $3,000 in repairs. The good thing is, these cars go for $6,000 to $8,000. So he's still at or less the value of the car. It is still worth fixing it. We're going to take a look around this thing and show you all the broken stuff we've found on this really sweet SAAB. And yes, I've heard the SAAB story thing all the time. Mrs. Wizard's uncle used to work on these years ago, and even back then he heard about SAAB stories and crying and boo-hooing and SAAB stories. So it's nothing new. And just like Bill has found when he has his Lotus in the shop, there's 4,000 comments about lots of trouble, usually serious. There's always some weird acronym to go with cars. This one is SAAB story because it's a SAAB. Let's take a look around this thing, Mrs. Wizard. Here is the front of this really nice 9.3. The paint is fairly good. We can see lots of little pock marks, or I guess little cracks in the paint there. It's very faint, very small, but otherwise it is in pretty good shape. It's a daily driver. It's not a museum piece. But for what he paid for it, it's actually in very good shape. You can see on the side is the SE with the 2-liter turbo. And when Mrs. Wizard gives you guys the tour, you'll see it is a manual transmission. Ding, 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 ding. The doors have lots of dings in them and a few scratches. Again, this is not a museum piece. And it's also, as you can see on the tag, it is not a jet. That's what Bill wants you guys to know. Lights and everything are in good shape. They're not cracked or broken. Has very nice wheels. They're not all gouged up and curb rashed and everything. Overall, it's really in pretty good shape. This is the hatch. This comes up like that. Let's go ahead and jump into the engine bay.
Hey, sorry to interrupt the Wizard's video. Just want to remind you, tomorrow's the last day, May 1st. If you're interested in the part works I've made, this latest batch, Audi water pump, the shift boot from a Lotus into a really cool lamp, shaving mirror from a Rolls-Royce, side mirror. Hey, it's all great. Anyway, check out the link in the description below. See you guys.
SAAB EcoPower 2-liter turbo. These are really cool engines. I really think they're really neat. I think SAABs are really neat. We enjoy having them. We don't get very many of them in the shop. Once in a while we get to have the joy of working on a SAAB. It's in pretty good shape. It doesn't have any major issues. There was some kind of a PCV hose or something he had replaced that was broken, and it took care of some issues. But it does have some leaks on the bottom that he wants us to check out, and we'll show you when we get it up in the air. But otherwise, there's not a whole lot going on up top here that we need to be servicing or messing with. All the repairs are actually underneath this car. Let's go ahead and let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the really unique SAAB interior.
There we go. Very, very, very simple gauge cluster here, but we can see it says 123,906 miles. Oh, but he has gone 666.1 miles on his tripometer. I'm worried for you, Bill. But nonetheless, it looks like it's in really good shape. Speedometer goes up to 160 miles per hour. Don't know if it'll do that, but it's cute nonetheless. Got some wood trim kind of we can see around this gauge cluster. And as we move up, we have a nice gray dash looking really fabulous, looking really nice. As we move down, you'll see that we have just a really simple, simple radio. These are fun to do something. You kind of pull, kind of like a game controller. They kind of move and twist around, so that's kind of a neat idea. It's not an opera pull like you see in a Bentley, but it's kind of got that technology of just one little pull. Got a very simple button for our hazard, And one thing that's very interesting that Grimes made sure I wanted to point out to you is that this is the cup holder. And it still works. It's not broken, nothing is not missing. The little bottom tray goes down to catch that cup, and it toggles in and stays. So that's pretty awesome. Move down. These are pretty simple controls down there. I haven't seen anything quite this simple in a long time. And usually they're from like old man American cars, Cadillac. But as we move down, you'll see, as we noted earlier, it is a 5-speed manual. And notice that it is in reverse. So I put the gear selector in neutral. And let me go ahead and try and take out the key. I can start the car, but it won't let me take it out. To get the key out, you actually have to put this in reverse, and then you can take the key out. Kind of a safety feature they have to, if the little e-brake fails, it's getting in gear as well. So, okay, this kind of interesting thing, just got to make sure you remember it's in reverse if you're the kind that tries to keep it in neutral. And here in Kansas, we don't need this kind of safety feature because, well, this might be a shock for you, but we're pretty flat around here. As you go to our center section, you'll see we have nice controls for all of our windows, for the door, for the sunroof, lots of fun stuff. As we lift up here, we have another neat little cup holder and a little baby one for the back seat. Seats are leather in really good shape, have a little bit of a headrest that can adjust as well, but it's rather comfortable. We've got 2 shades of gray on our door card between the plastic and the leather. It's in nice shape as well. It's not peeling off. Back seats are in 2 categories. Really great shape because nobody ever sits back there, or really bad shape because the kids have trashed them. And so I'm going with there are no kids that have ridden in this car, at least not much. So really good shape. We've got adjustable headrests as well. Looks like we're missing the center one there. At least there's holes for it. And you can tell that that back deck is really big because this is a hatchback and that whole area does open up. So, but it does have a nice cover to keep things hidden underneath. Headliners are dove gray. Looking very nice, no marks, nothing going on. Got a simple shade for our sunroof as well. So we're back to our steering wheel with a lovely SAAB insignia on the center. We've got controls for our radio there, and on the back stock there we've got controls for our cruise control. So it's looking really cool in here. Really good shape considering I'm told that cup holder over there, let's watch it one more time. This thing is just phenomenal. It's still in working condition. So there you go, another sneak peek at it. So enough of this interior talk. Let's get this baby in the air and see what's going on underneath.
So there's an entire page of things that are wrong with this, 8 or 9 or 10 items. And every one of these items is $300, $400, $500 a pop. Each item itself is not exorbitantly expensive. But when you add up $300 or $400 or $500 times 8, 9, or 10 items, you're at $3 grand. It adds up so fast. So let's go through the list and show everything Danielson found. He actually checked this thing out. So one of the things that Danielson found is that actually there's an exhaust stud broken right where I'm touching with my screwdriver right here. You see the head is missing. That's the output of the turbo. Eventually that's going to turn into an exhaust leak. The other ones are probably going to break because the metal is so brittle. 2 studs are now holding the work of 3, and eventually it's just like a domino effect, they'll break. We're going to have to remove the entire catalytic converter assembly out. And on a car that's had many, many heat cycles, you guys guessed it, there's probably going to be more bolts break. Even if we use our mini ductor or penetrant on the bolts, it doesn't matter. They're just so brittle, they're going to break. So we got to quote that together, and we're going to get all new studs, all new hardware, all new gaskets. And if we have to drill out any bolts, I typically tell customers it's usually, depending on the level of difficulty, half an hour to an hour per bolt. If you have 2, 3, 4 bolts broken, you could have 1, 2, 3 hours worth of labor. We're usually up front with that. If the customer says, I'm not paying that, we'll say, fine, we'll skip that, and we'll move on to something else. So that's typically how we do broken bolts. Next is oil leaks, and we found it. So one thing we did here is clean the entire underneath and put trace powder, which washes it off pretty easy, and it shows you exactly where the leaks are, and we found it. Right there on the transmission output seal for the driver's side, it's literally just dripping red fluid out. So we're going to have to pull CV shaft out, pull that little flange off and replace the seal. Next thing, Bill actually complained about some vague shifter feel, or he can feel like movement from the engine when his shifter is going into different gears. And we found out why. Every motor mount and transmission mount on this thing is literally ripped in half. I'll show you. You see my screwdriver is actually stuck in there. This is the rear transmission mount. You can see the rubber is completely severed from the mount. So that allows it to free play and move around and bounce around. It's the same story on the motor mounts as well. So that explains the shifter movement. And these mounts usually aren't changed in 15 minutes. There's a lot of time involved in parts. Again, this is I'm just explaining why does it cost $3 grand to go through all this. It's quite a lot. Then we have another engine mount, which is right here. We can actually lift up on the car and it will just lift. The rubber is torn. Those cables are the only thing keeping it from lifting too high. And there's a third mount as well. It's kind of hard to see. It's on the further front part of the engine. This is a front wheel drive, so everything's packaged right here. The next thing is this control arm. The lower control arm is bad. There's some clunking going on right here, and I'll demonstrate on this ball joint. You can hear that, which is this lower ball joint here. So the common question is, why don't you just replace the ball joint? Why are you doing the whole control arm? Because if we're seeing on all the rubber components, they're starting to fail. Also, with the labor it takes to press out that ball joint and put a new one in, it's the same price. It's just purchasing the entire control arm. Why wouldn't you? So that takes care of the clunking noise. And the last item we have is here at the rear brakes. The pads are actually down to 2 or 3 millimeters. It's hard to see and show you guys, but they're getting very, very thin. So like I said, everything that needs to be done to this car is from the underneath. So let's get this thing back on the ground. There's a few items that Bill can replace on this and do himself, but like we just showed you, everything that needs to be done to this car is pretty much underneath the car, and it's stuff that you're going to need engine lifts to hoist the engine up while you take mounts off. And as you guys can imagine, taking bolts loose to repair a broken stud, and then the next bolt breaks, and then this breaks, and it just can get so pissed off, and you're laying on the ground, and you're getting dirt in your face, scraping your knuckles, and it just can get very frustrating. Sometimes it's like, you know what, here, Car Wizard, you do it all. And I totally get that. The brunt of all the cost that's going to go into this is really the motor mounts, transmission mount, and those broken studs are going to eat up a lot of labor time. You start adding all this up, then you get sales tax and you get the inspection fee, and you're pretty much knocking on $3,000. Is it worth it? Absolutely. This is a really cool car, and Bill loves this car. Even with all the repairs and the purchase price, he still has not exceeded the full value of the car. Most of these are trashed by now. This one is very nice. It drives very nice. It's definitely worth all of the repairs. All in all, I think Bill actually got lucky. You guys know the Alfa Romeo Milano that he had. He's 30 grand into sorting that car with purchasing it and repairs and all the things. It's a perfect car now. He's been cruising around in that thing. We finally got everything sorted out on that car. We did a little bit at a time. Some of it he was able to fix himself to save some money, but those parts on those cars are not 20 and 30 bucks. They're 500 and $1,000 for everything. This time around, it's not near as expensive, and he can enjoy this car, and like you saw the little dings on the door and things, he doesn't have to worry about scratching the paint or hurting it. He can take this thing to work, back and forth, or drive it around and just enjoy it and not worry about hurting it. SAABs are quirky cars. You saw on the rear tag it says not a jet. There was some sort of, I think, aircraft engineers or something that helped design this car. There's a lot of aircraft themed, or the way it's designed has aircraft in mind. They really are a really cool car. I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I'm glad Bill bought it, and we can take a look at this 9.3 and let you guys see it as well. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to fix up this really sweet 9.3, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. If you purchase anything there, we get a small cut, and we really appreciate it. Make sure to check out Mrs. Wizard's Way. She's got some really good content going on there on her Shelby GT500. You want to go check out that. The link is in the description below as well. And make sure to hit the subscribe button here, because we have tons of cars for videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.